this mileage unknown, I'm over at Trav's and we are working on Penelope. So for a long time now, I've wanted to lower the front and put on those super cool wheels and tires that I bought like a year and a half ago now. So hopefully that's what we do today. I already have a little bit of concerns that my rear tires might be too big. So we'll see. Supposedly lowering a Type 3 is super easy, which means for me and Trav and Penelope that hates us, it's gonna take 5 times longer than it should.
26.
So real quick, we're gonna measure all the way around. Looks like this one's right at about 26. $24. Also 24. And 26. So we're up 2 inches in the front from the rear. I also have new shocks that we've had the car for, I don't know, probably 3 years. So hopefully they're still good. We decided we're gonna try and test fit the new wheels and tires before we fully commit to lowering. So this one, the factory size was a I think these were 180 or 165 80s 15s, and the new tires is a 205 60 15. They're about the same height, but obviously we got a lot more width on the new one, so be interesting to see how they fit. We attempted to put the new wheels and tires on and it didn't go as planned, not even a little bit. I guess I was way too ambitious with the tire size, which is interesting because there's another 66 Fastback just like Penelope, and I was trying to match his tire size, but clearly the offset of these wheels is super wonky. So to pull that off, we're gonna have to do completely different tires. And one of the wheels might actually need some machining on the lug nut hole openings, because 3 wheels, the lugs go through no problem. 1 wheel, there's a problem. So I think Trav and I are still going to attempt to lower the Fastback and throw new shocks on, and then maybe we'll kind of remeasure everything and see how it sits. And then I've got to do some research trying to figure out what size tires I can get away with. Supposedly Type 3s are the easiest Volkswagens to lower. We're gonna see how that goes. We've got to take the shock off, and I've got some new shocks. These are probably wasted. I've had new shocks sitting for a long time. So we'll do that, but we're gonna have to pop the upper and lower ball joints and swing the knuckle out of the way. And then this bolt here actually screws into the torsion bar for the other side and vice versa. So we will end up undoing this bolt on that side to actually loosen everything on this side to be able to re-clock the lower arm to lower it. Around. There's no rebound at all on that one. All right, so now I believe we undo this bolt here. On that one, it's actually clamped to hold that upper ball joint. This one,
oh, it's got a little clamp too.
yeah, it looks like it might be the same. So it looks like we should be able to just undo both of those and then pop the ball joint loose, hopefully. So we got them both loose and out. I was gonna ask Trav if we still had a pickle fork somewhere, which we do, but I can't quite do it all one-handed and record, so we'll see what we can do to get this bottom one off. The top one came actually super easy. We might have to kind of reposition so you get the right angle of the dangle. So that took some finagling, but we finally got that bottom one to pop loose. We got the knuckle just kind of supported, knuckle and rotor supported over there. So you can see everything all loosened up. This is the arm that we're gonna be changing. So we're gonna make some marks so we can tell where we started from, and then we're gonna loosen up the other side and see how this goes. I'm over on the driver's side and I'm loosening that bolt for the torsion bar. Of course, this one's covered in grease, so I must set you down. Okay, so I screwed the bolt back in just barely. It's not a very long bolt, so just barely enough to actually be able to pop the arm loose on this side, right? So the arm did pop out. So we're gonna pull it out. Remember, just like how we splined, oh, that light's doing weird stuff to the camera. Kind of like we did on the bugs.
So see, this had to move for that piece to come out.
Okay, so we marked a weird spot that might not have been the best spot to mark.
I mean, so when it goes back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's going back.
So we're still on the same spline.
I believe we're still on the
So
same
we need to
spline.
come out, and are we going 1 or are we gonna go 2? I'm not sure how far each spline on these type 3s lower.
So I need to go
Up, yeah.
Huh, it's weird. Oh,
Well, there we go. So that's 1. Or is that the same?
Wow, no, it's definitely not the same.
Okay. So we doing 1?
I don't know. That was weird. It's like it moves a lot.
That's 2. That's going to be the hard part, is getting that ball joint back up enough. And I think what we do is we'll actually get the ball joint kind of in and then jack up the spindle, you know what I mean, to push it up. I've seen people do 3, which seems pretty excessive. 2 might be where we go, and we won't really know until we put it back
See, I think,
down on the ground.
yeah, I mean, that's definitely...
That was 2, right? Now look at 2, we're already almost hitting the bump stop though.
Yeah, but this is gonna... Oh, I see. Yeah. So the bump stops come off?
I don't know if they come off or if you have to cut them, but I don't know. Maybe, just like you guys, we Google. So I'm gonna try and see how much each spline does. I mean, the car looked like it could pretty easily drop a couple inches without having a problem. So that's why we were thinking two splines. I've seen people do 3 and it just buries the car and you can't turn the wheels. So I think 2, we should be okay. So this is at 2 notches. And like I said, I think we're gonna have to try and get the knuckle into this ball joint and then maybe use the jack and this wood to push up to where we can get the lower one seated as well. I'm gonna say this is gonna take both Travis and I to pull this off. We got everything back up and bolted up and together. So it was a combination of prying down on one and up on the other. Right now Travis throwing the shock back in. You can kind of see our markings, which unfortunately we picked a kind of a dumb a movable part here, which made it a little bit harder to tell. So hopefully we did what we thought and we're up 2 notches. So we have Penelope out of the garage. We did 2 notches up front. There was some question whether it was the same or not, because the driver's side went together a little easier than the passenger side did. And let's take a look. So we did 2 notches. We were at 26, and right now we're at 24. Now the rears were at 24, and they went up about 1/2 inch. So not too bad. The car now has a little bit of a rake to it.
But the right way.
But the right way instead of how it was the other way. But yeah, we got 24 and 24.5. Unfortunately, my super awesome wheels, they're not going on the car yet. I'm trying to figure out what kind of tire size I can run because the offset is so crazy on those. The tires I'm looking at might pull the front end down another 1.5 inches and maybe even the rear end an inch or so. Now, I think we're gonna have to pull the bump stops off of the front because we're sitting on the bump stops, or cut them in half. But actually looks pretty cool. It doesn't look bad with the turtlebacks. Travis is not a huge fan of the turtlebacks, but if these were actually cleaned up and nice, they might not look too bad. So, lowering a Type 3 was pretty easy for our first time. I think we could do it again quite a bit quicker. It's always harder when you're trying to record and explain stuff and do stuff, and especially when you don't really know what you're doing. That's going to be it for this Mileage Unknown. Stay tuned for more car shenanigans.